personally grown my Instagram account to over 35,000 followers, and I've personally helped a lot of people do the same thing. But 90% of people fail on social media because they struggle with creating a lot of content and being consistent with it. So let me give you a quick breakdown of how I am consistently posting a lot of content, and I've done it for over a year, and how you can do the same thing.
Oh, hello. Okay, so now I am here on my PC. There is the camera. So now before we start, let's quickly get an idea. And before I start telling about the beautiful things that I've prepared for you guys, let me quickly give you an idea of what's actually stopping you from creating a lot of content. So what's stopping you from creating a lot more content? Like a lot of people think कि यार मेरे पास time नहीं है, मेरे पास ये नहीं है, वो नहीं है. But what is the actual thing that's stopping you? What is that actual thing? अभी 90% of people think it's because they don't have time, but let me tell you, it's because you have something called the shiny object syndrome. Shiny object syndrome is called a continual state of distraction brought on by an ongoing belief that there is something new worth pursuing. Abhi, if I have to tell this in a simple language, just imagine you are climbing this mountain, and while you are climbing this mountain, you start thinking that this idea, this other mountain has a bigger peak and might be a lot more easier. Now that is shiny object syndrome, and because of that, you might just fall off the track completely. For example, let's say you are creating content on, let's say, YouTube, and you start posting. Let's say you posted your first 10 pieces of content, and while you're creating your 11th piece, you're thinking, why shouldn't I just start my email list? Like, why shouldn't I just build my, let's say, website? Why shouldn't I just start creating content on, let's say, LinkedIn? And all these ideas that think much better, because when you're creating your first couple of pieces of content, you're really not really going to get a lot of traction. Like in your first 10 pieces of content, you will not get any traction. And that time you might just think, okay, look at other people. I looked at somebody else on LinkedIn who is doing much better. I looked at somebody else making $100,000 on email. Website se to nahi hai to bhai kaise hoga? All that things that come in your mind is what is called shiny object syndrome. But something that Alex Hormozi said that was really well was to actually master something, you need to put in thousands of hours of effort. Now I don't know if Alex Hormozi said this or not, I'm just quoting him because I heard it from him. And 10 pieces of content is not 1,000 hours worth of time. So that's why you have to avoid the shiny object syndrome and focus on something for the first 1,000 hours and actually get better and master that skill. Now, Tika Shubhankar, you said that really well, but the question that comes in is, when we are looking at shiny object syndrome, we are basically trying to evaluate which idea is really good. So is content creation even important for you or me? Like, should I even create content? Like, shouldn't I just build my website? Like, what should actually be the plan? And for that, I've prepared a scoring tool. I don't know why my lines are not good. Scoring tool. Credit of that is by Sam Owens. Sam Owens created a video from when he was in consulting.com, and I just copied the whole thing. So no, this is not my property, it's Sam Owens's. So let's look at this called the project scoring tool that I've named behind me. This is the actual project scoring tool that I'm using in my actual company. It's not a demo one that I've created, and let me show you how it works. It basically tells me how much score does each opportunity have. And as you see, like the first one, posting 24 pieces of content, main ID on my Instagram, has so much higher score than anything else. And that's why it's going to be my first effort. First thing that I'm going to focus on, and then I'm going to focus on the next thing, then I'm going to focus on the next, like the exact score will be given to you, and you can basically, order it accordingly. Like, to this one is first, then which is the highest, this is second, then this is third, then this is fourth. So order it accordingly and assign a day you're going to start and finish it. When you do that, you won't have to think about all the other things that are in your mind, because it is already there in your scoring tool, and you'll probably create it in later time as the score is given. Now, how does this work? Basically, reach basically means how many people you're going to reach with this. Impact, you can just read here. Exactly, everything is given. I'll add the link to this in the description. I don't want to waste a lot of time talking about some scoring tool. I'll make a video later on this, but you can just go here and exactly the time, effort, everything will be given. I'll give you guys the template. So with this, you will exactly know what to do, and you will easily avoid something called the shiny object syndrome. So now that you have a lot more time, now that you are not stuck in shiny object syndrome, it's about time that we look at the tools to create more content in a busy schedule. Because probably if you guys are an entrepreneur, you guys actually have a busy schedule, even if you guys avoid the shiny object syndrome. Anyways, so what are the tools to create more better content in a busy schedule? Let's look at that. First of all, you have already seen, and probably a very cliche topic everybody talks about, is cutting out distractions. Now, a great thing, Shivanka, you told me, but how am I going to do so? And for that, I have linked two different great extensions by which you can actually cut out distraction. 90% of people are distracted by social media, and as we are creating content on social media, you might just go on to Instagram to get more content ideas and get stuck there for an hour scrolling your content. So whenever you're on PC, first of all, never use your phone to get any content ideas. Always do through PC. Let's say if I open Instagram, you will see my whole feed is actually going to be covered by something called the news feed eradicator. Only if I go here and I click something will I be able to see my news feed, and I'm not going to be distracted by anything else. Whenever I open Instagram, I can just search for what I want to search. Second, for YouTube is also a big source of distraction. If I go onto YouTube, you will see there is nothing else that comes on my feed. Like literally nothing else. Let's say I open a YouTube video, let's say Charlie Morgan, and you will see that I'll get no recommendations on the side. My whole sidebar is closed. And that happens through two extensions that I've given here. One is called Unhooked. Second is called Newsfeed Eradicator. So if you see Unhook and Newsfeed Eradicator, you guys can just go on to Instagram, Google, and let me just open Google. I'll search Unhook. Here is the first one, and second I'll search Newsfeed Eradicator extension, and here is the second one. Done. You don't have to worry about it anymore. Your whole distractions on social media are gone. Second thing that comes in is calendar blocking. So 90% of you are probably online people. You work online, and you probably do maintain your calendar. Right now, let me just open my calendar. It's blocked out. I cannot show you my actual calendar, but let's say this is your calendar, for example. Let me just switch this to week. Let's say this is your calendar, and this is your calendar completely empty. You're gonna schedule your calls and everything. Always have a same time weekly where you create content. First of all, the best days to shoot content is usually Sundays. So let's say I just want shooting. You want to create content on Sundays, but here is the caveat. Just go here, click on edit event, and go on to here and make it weekly on Sundays. So you won't have to schedule it every week. It's always going to be there on your calendar, and you always know when you need to shoot. Best thing. Second, first time is for shooting. There are two time frames that you need to actually schedule on your calendar. First is the shoot time, as I showed you, and second is for scripting. Scripting is a very important thing. Scripting and ideation, where you create ideas and write your scripts. These are two time frames that you have to do always. What I really suggest is, if you are the best timing to schedule shooting and scripting is in the same day, best time, because when you write your scripts, you have a feeling that comes out while you're writing it. But if you shoot in the same day, that feeling that came out will also stay in your content and will perform really well. But for whatever reason, if you cannot, then I would always suggest try to do it one day earlier. For example, if it's Sundays that you're shooting, then go on to Saturday and try to do it in the morning. For example, scripting Shubhankar. Done. Like every Saturday, it's going to be again the same thing. Go here, does repeat weekly on Saturdays. Every Saturday now you have a reminder that will tell you that you have to script in the morning. I always suggest that you script first thing in the morning. So let's say you wake up at 9 a.m. Go and script at 9 a.m. because that's when you're the most fresh, and you need a fresh mind to script, right? Now shooting is, you can do it at any time. If you have a light, to be honest, like it doesn't matter. But if you are waiting for sunlight, then try to do it like in the mornings, best time, right? So that is how you can actually 90% of the problems get solved when you have a proper schedule and you have all the distractions blocked out. So to block out your distractions and avoid shiny object syndrome, you have to do something called the project scoring tool. And second is you have to remove all the distractions that are distracting you. And finally, to build an actual good schedule, you need to do something called the calendar blocking. Finally is something called content team, and you won't believe how easy my life has become after I've built out my content team. So if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a coach, consultant, or a service provider who has a little bit of time, please hire a content team. If you have a lot of money, if you have a lot of time, then hire them full time. Or if you don't have a lot of time and you don't have direction, then either you can hire a coach to help you out, build your team, or you can hire an agency to do the whole work for you. But please, please, please build a content team the moment you have money, because you won't believe how much time I have saved. Before, I used to spend my whole day scripting, shooting, and editing videos, and I had to edit every day. Like every day I was spending time on content, and I didn't have time to put in my business. But now that I have my editors right here and I have my content head run it, so when I have that, I don't really have to worry about anything. I don't have to worry about creating content. I just have to shoot this video, give it to them, done. My work is done, right? Even probably the thumbnail that you're seeing of this video is not created by me. I didn't waste an hour or two creating that, because I have money and my time is valuable. So I'll leverage my money and build out a team so that I don't have to waste a lot of time. Make sense? I hope so. So that's the thing that you guys have to do to create a hell lot of content. And if, like, to be honest, if you just have this part figured out, you don't really need something else. Guys, if you don't have a lot of money, don't worry. Start out with the other things that I told you. You don't need a content team. You can start out the way I did. But if you actually have a lot of money, but you don't want to go through the hassle of building a team and do all of that, go down to the link in the description. You can book a call with me. Obviously, this is a sales call. I'm not trying to say that I'll give you free value and all that. Yes, this is a sales call. I'm very upfront with it that I'm going to sell you on an offer that will give you value, that will help you build your personal brand, and you don't have to worry about creating content, because that will be handled by us and you'll get more sales, obviously. But if you don't have money and you don't want to waste your time, bro, no worries. Like, watch more content. I'm creating free value for you guys for that reason, for people who actually don't want to spend a lot of money and cannot afford it, so that you can actually build your personal brand, get a lot of money, and then hire us. Anyway, see this video right here. Probably a very good video that you're very much more relatable to you. Until next time, bye.